In recent news, campuses across the United States are in a state of upheaval. At the heart of the tumult, pro-Palestinian protests are disrupting the tranquility of educational institutions, causing a wave of concern across the nation. The epicenter of this unrest is none other than Columbia University, where an occupation of Hamilton Hall has led to a tense standoff. In the midst of the turbulence, the White House has chosen to remain silent, declining to comment on whether the protesters should face disciplinary action. This silence has only added fuel to the fire of discontent, leaving students and staff in a state of uncertainty. In a twist of events, a Jewish student has taken legal action against Columbia University, alleging that the institution failed to provide a safe environment during the protests. This lawsuit has cast a spotlight on the responsibility of universities to protect their students, adding another layer to an already complex issue. As the unrest intensifies, students are not backing down. They are demanding justice, standing their ground, and calling for universities to divest from Israel-linked companies profiting from the conflict in Gaza. A movement is sweeping across the nation with students at the forefront demanding justice. The protests are far from quiet, with scenes of resistance and confrontation taking center stage. The heartbeat of the protest can be felt strongest at Columbia University's Morningside Heights campus. Here, at least 200 students have taken a stand, barricading the entrance to Hamilton Hall, transforming the academic building into a fortress of dissent. The students' demand rings clear justice. They're calling for universities to divest from companies linked to Israel that are profiting from the conflict in Gaza. This demand is not unique to Columbia. It echoes through the halls of campuses across the country, a resonating call to action that unites these protesters in a common cause. The heat of the protest is not confined to impassioned speeches and placard waving. It has spilled over into arrests on various campuses. Students are willing to risk their academic standing, their freedom, even their futures, for a cause they believe in. It's a testament to their conviction, a testament to the intensity of their demand. Universities have become the stage for this drama to unfold, the battleground for this ideological war. The students are not just fighting against the powers that be, but they're also fighting for the world to take notice, to listen, to act. Yet the heat of the protest is not merely about the number of students involved or the decibels of their chants. It's about the fervor of their belief, the strength of their conviction, and their unwavering commitment to justice. It's about the courage to stand against injustice, no matter the cost. As the protests continue, the tension escalates. The stakes are high, and the students show no signs of backing down. Their determination is as palpable as the heat of the protest itself. They remain steadfast, fueled by a burning desire for justice and change. The heat of the protest is not just a physical manifestation, but a powerful symbol of their unwavering resolve. Caught in the crossfire, university administrations are forced to respond. The halls of power at institutions like USC and Columbia have found themselves thrust into a delicate dance of diplomacy. Their partners in this dance, the very students that walk their campuses. With placards held high and demands for justice echoing through the air, these students have sparked a dialogue that has reached the highest echelons of the university hierarchy. Negotiations have begun, with administrations and protest organizers coming to the table in hopes of finding common ground. But it's not all diplomatic dialogue. Columbia University, for instance, has started to take a firmer stance. Students who refuse to vacate the on-campus encampment find themselves facing suspension as the administration seeks to regain control. Yet, even as these discussions take place and disciplinary actions are taken, the protests continue unabated. The question lingers in the air: what will be the outcome of these campus showdowns? As the administrations scramble to respond, the future of these protests is yet uncertain. As the dust settles, we look back at the events that have unfolded. We've witnessed a wave of protests disrupting college campuses across the United States. At the heart of this unrest, students barricaded the entrance to Hamilton Hall at Columbia University, demanding justice and calling for universities to divest from companies linked to the conflict in Gaza. The protests, while peaceful in intent, have not been without consequence. Arrests have been made on various campuses, and the administrations of universities like Columbia and USC have been drawn into negotiations with protest organizers. Meanwhile, a Jewish student has taken legal action against Columbia University, alleging a lack of a safe environment during the demonstrations. These events serve as a stark reminder of the power and passion of student-led movements. With the White House declining to comment on disciplinary action for protesters and universities beginning to suspend students refusing to vacate on-campus encampments, the conversation around these protests continues. This has been a glimpse into the current wave of university protests. As the world watches, only time will reveal the ultimate impact of this student-led movement.